What's up, boys and girls? Nameco Dustin here, talking fantasy basketball, talking about small forwards. And I don't know if you know this, but there's a lot of value and a lot of good players that are small forwards. So you're about to find out. We're going to reveal some crazy names, dude.
There are quite a few. Before we get into it, though, DraftKings, they have fantasy basketball as well. And I know you love fantasy basketball because you're watching this video. Sign up, use the promo code FST, or follow the card or the link in the description. Deposit at least $5 more. DraftKings gives you entry into a free game, and if you do it during the month of October, we will give you a Smack Talk shirt.
Ho!
We're bringing the promotion back. Everyone loved it. We've already sent out hundreds of shirts. It's a great day. It's a great month.
And you gotta help us out, you know, help out your boys at Smack Talk. Alright, let's talk about Tier 1, and there's not much to talk about. It's LeBron, James, Kevin Durant. You know why they're fantasy gold. They're amazing basketball players. But we actually like Durant more overall for fantasy purposes. But the reason LeBron's ranked higher is the injury. So we like him more if he was 100% healthy more. It's the injury factor. And so when really looking at it, we're thinking if we're in a draft, who would we take? That's how we do these rankings sometimes. And, you know, are you really going to pass LeBron James to maybe have a little bit of injury concerns with Durant? You just can't do that. So, but they're 1A, 1B. They're both awesome, both first rounders.
I had Durant last year. It was painful. Another guy who's had some injury concerns, Paul George. I want to talk about him in Tier 2. He should be 100% healthy, and we know what this guy can do when he's healthy. And because he is coming off, you know, of a season where he only played 6 games at the end of the year, people are going to look at him and maybe be a little weary about drafting him. So he might slip half a round to a round later than what he would normally do if he was healthy all last year and doing what he normally does. So he could be a good value for you, even though he's still going to go in the early rounds. And then I want to talk about Kawhi Leonard. I mean, he's one of the Spurs that does get benched from time to time. So I don't like that. But when he plays, he just fills it up. I mean, this guy does everything. He's one of the most fun guys to watch just because he's just a big ball of energy running around out there. I do like Kawhi Leonard, but just be ready for him to probably play a maximum of 75 games.
Alright, as we go into Tier 3, one guy I'm going to highlight, and that's Andrew Wiggins, last year's Rookie of the Year. I mean, he was extremely solid last year, 17 points, 4.5 boards, 1 steal. The problem is, it was only half a 3 a game, and he's really, you know, you heard that he's working on his shooting and all of that, and of course that's what he does in the summer. I hate those reports. Like, no kidding, they're working on shooting the ball. But with
dribbling.
Yeah, but with this kid, he is young enough that, and I think he's going to keep increasing. He does have the pedigree, he does have all the talents. I see him as a 20-point scorer, 5-board-a-game kind of guy, so that's good to have on your team.
What's not to like? I want to talk about a guy that I loved last year, kind of was a pickup for me and just really came on and helped me out a lot.
It's going to be Covington.
Robert Covington.
Of course it is. He loves Covington.
I mean, this guy saved me. I mean, I needed him, and I found him, and he made me happy. But you know, in a lot of leagues, he has power forward eligibility as well. 2.5 threes a game from him last year. 1.5 steals. He doesn't do a ton at the rebounding categories, but he's just a guy in a situation that I think he's going to get the minutes. They're going to ask him to do the same, if not more. Love me some Covington. And I want to talk about Gallinari. They kind of eased him in last year. They weren't really ready to just let him go and play 30-plus minutes, but they might this year. And if they do, we know what Gallinari can do. And this is a guy that could offer great value for where he's getting drafted.
Alright, as we look at Tier 5, I'm talking about 2 guys that are going to get a huge boost in minutes this year. So you got to like that. And in another video I screwed this up. There's 2 things you look at in fantasy basketball. Talent and opportunity aka minutes. So the first guy is Otto Porter. Now, Paul Pierce is gone. He's back with Doc in LA. Otto Porter's going to step in, and he really blossomed in playoffs. And in that Atlanta series, he was playing over 30 minutes a game, and he looked great. He looked like Otto Porter was drafted 3rd overall, you know, averaging 12 points and 8.5 boards during that stretch. I can see him doing that for a season. Plus, he's got the defensive stats where I think he can get you a steal a game as well. And he can hit a 3. John Wall's on there, spreads the court. So I think he could be a 12, 8, 1, and 1 guy. And that's great where you can get him in drafts. The other guy I want to talk about is one of the Morris brothers, but this one is, just a double check, Marcus Morris, not Markieff. So Marcus Morris is with the Detroit Pistons. Greg Monroe is not with the Detroit Pistons. He's going to be starting alongside Drummond. This is his chance to really break out, so he's a great guy. We love to take these type of guys in the later rounds of drafts.
Tier 6, I got one person I want to talk about, kind of an interesting guy. You know, Dunleavy is hurt for the first couple months or so for Chicago, and Doug McDermott is going to get a chance here to maybe show us what he can do. You know, we're not necessarily expecting you know, huge things from him, but again, it's an opportunity. You know, it's a guy that you can get really late, and it's a guy that we don't really know what his full potential is. So he's a great gamble when you get in the later rounds and you're between him and like a boring Paul Pierce pick or something like that. You know, maybe you go with the guy that a little bit more unknown just to see what he can do for you while he's got the chance.
You grab McBuckets. We know it's McBuckets for a reason. He can score, but can he be that amazing scorer on an NBA level? All right, as we look at, and it's worth the gamble. That's the whole point. Now, tier 7, talking about one guy, and that is Andre Iguodala. Now, the reason I want to talk about him is why he's ranked low. A lot of people think that he should be going a lot higher because, you know, you watch the NBA Finals and he was so instrumental to their victory, and that's great and all, but don't overplay just because of what happened in the Finals. He doesn't get the minutes to be worthy of a mid-round pick, and that's where, you know, some people want him to be ranked, which is crazy. Iguodala is past his prime. He's a role player, and he's a great role player on the NBA World Champions.
Gotta love some role players, though. In real NBA.
Yeah,
I do not like them in fantasy.
There's a reason he's ranked tier 7. They ain't bad.
Name code right here on Dawson. This is just small forwards. Check out all the other tiers and rankings. You got questions? Check out the website. Post them in the forums. I don't know about that one. And subscribe!
Guys!